Hey folks, this clip is brought to you by the fastest growing sports book in Tennessee, ZenSports. Enter code A to Z TN, ATOZ TN to earn a welcome bonus that gives you 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days of betting. That is ZenSports. So just a couple of quick things. First off, you had George McIntyre, who, big quarterback recruit for Tennessee. And is he is a 5-star, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like a top 15 overall player in the nation.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know exactly where he slotted in nationally, but obviously highly sought after. He's visited Tennessee, and I mean the main thing with this kid. So on 247, he is a 4-star. On the 247 composite, he's a 5-star. So that's what I was thinking about. The main thing is that he's from Brentwood, Tennessee. He plays at Brentwood Academy, so he's close by, in state. You definitely want this kid. He released his top 10. Tennessee is in it. This top 10 was a little generous. We talked about this before he actually got on the show. FIU was on it, and because a relative coaches FIU for
his uncle. Yeah,
his uncle. Yeah. So there's a little bit of fluff built in there. I think Tennessee is a very, very serious contender for George McIntyre. And so, I like that it's moving along. I don't ever put that much, stock into a top 10, but it's fun nonetheless. And a note. It's not the main note that we wanted to make with this, but any thoughts on that, Zach?
Yeah, I mean those top 10 lists. I top 4 or 5 I'd get because it's kind of like, okay, these are the teams that are really vying for this quarterback or this recruit. Top 10, it's just like you're just trying to give these programs some love, and I respect it. I do that, respect it because I feel like they do appreciate the time and effort that these coaches put into recruiting them. And it's got to be tough to tell some of those guys no. I'm sure it is because they build real relationships. But yeah, McIntyre's a guy you pretty much got to land. Well, you don't have to land, I don't guess. Maybe Nico's little brother would be next on the list, perhaps, if they go down that road. But being an in-state guy, 6'5", good size, athletic. I think they said he has some college basketball offers as well. So, he's a really athletic guy. It seems like the type of guy you want running Josh Heupel's offense. And he's going to be at the Texas A&M game this weekend. Kind of makes that even more important to put on a good show and to win that game in what should be another great atmosphere. The game will be ending, at dusk or nighttime in the 7 p.m. hours. So it should be a tremendous atmosphere. And if you can get that guy on campus and impress him in that type of environment, you've seen what he can do. I mean, we're starting to see the fruits of some of those great environments last season. We had another great one for the South Carolina game. Just makes it even more important to really put on a show for guys like George McIntyre that are going to be there.
100%. We talked about it all last year when you won the Florida game, when you won that Alabama game, and you heard from recruits after that were just wowed by the environment. And then obviously wowed by the fact that Tennessee was winning these huge games. Also, it just is so powerful. And if you can lay down the law against Texas A&M and really make it impressive, it's going to be the 3:30 CBS game. So he's going to get to sit there during all those commercial breaks, have a lot of time to contemplate whether he likes Tennessee or not. But no, I mean, I think it's going to be a real show. Eric Berry is going to be.
That's huge.
Be like the special guest.
Well, he's been inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame later this year. So this is kind of the National Football Foundation puts all that together to honor those guys on their home campuses. And that'll be a special moment for Eric Berry, who's by all means deserves that recognition. And, if not for what happened, with cancer diagnosis and everything he went through, he would be a surefire Hall of Famer. Might even have a case without that down the road at some point, but he was that type of talent that certainly deserves to be recognized.
Absolutely. He's one of the only dudes that I've seen out in public and kind of had a little bit of a fanboy moment. It was back when Evan was on the team, and he was with his two brothers in downtown, and my wife and I were just down there eating, and I saw him and I was like, oh, that's Eric Berry. Oh my gosh. I mean, dude was iconic when we were younger.
Oh, yeah. And I had a similar moment. I think he was at the spring game one year when Butch was the coach, maybe like 2013 or 14, early on. It was kind of the same
EB deserves better.
Yeah, well,
showing up with Butch. But yeah, regardless, it's going to be a great show for George McIntyre. You got to hope that you can win this one. It could be huge because he could be your quarterback in the future, obviously. The other note here is with Gage Ginther, who is an offensive tackle. He's committed to Tennessee, and he's a 4 or 3-star prospect, depending on who you look at. But the main thing with Gage Ginther is that he is on multiple services the number one player from the state of Colorado. And he went and visited Deion and the Buffaloes.
I think it was
it
the
for
USC game.
the USC game? Because I was about to say I think they played Arizona State at Arizona State.
Yeah.
Visited, and that happens. Boo Carter did this already, but Gage Ginther again, number one player from the state of Colorado, goes to that visit. Colorado lost, but comes away, and then I believe he did an interview afterwards, or put it out on social media. I don't know exactly where he said this, but said that he's committed to Tennessee. I believe he said he's shutting it down, the recruiting. You know the full details there. What?
Yeah, I don't. It probably wasn't a big deal for a lot of people, but I think it should be a bigger deal, and I think it's something that Tennessee should kind of tout, because everything is Deion Sanders, Coach Prom. I mean, it's all over College Game Day.
It's football season, and it's time to switch to ZenSports, the fastest growing sports book in Tennessee, changing the bonus game with their cash rewards program. When you sign up for ZenSports with code A2ZTN, ATOZTN, earn a welcome bonus that gives you 5% cash back on your total betting volume for your first 15 days of betting. And if you have friends who bet on sports, share your ZenSports referral bonus code with them, and you will earn 3% of their betting volume for their first 6 months of betting on ZenSports, with no cap on how much you can earn. So what are you waiting for? Stop wasting time and money on other sportsbooks when you could be earning real cash rewards with ZenSports. Download today on the App Store at ZenSports.com. And your wallet will thank you later. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older in Tennessee to bet. That is ZenSports. Go download it now.
The novelty of it for me is kind of wore off to where, yeah, it was unique because we grew up watching Deion Sanders play, played baseball, tremendous football player. He was exciting. He had swagger back when that was kind of unusual to see guys play the way he did. He's an iconic figure. And when he got into coaching, I think we all thought it was just kind of like, what is this guy doing? And to his credit, he's did well at Jackson State. He's won some games at Colorado. He's flipped the roster, hit kind of his own way. But now you're into the season. To me, he's just another coach, but he's still kind of getting that media attention. But he's went after Tennessee's players, like not just because they're Tennessee's players. He's went after plenty of recruits, but went after Boo Carter. Gage Ginther, the number one player in the state. The Athletic said this was a player that Colorado had a high priority on. They badly wanted him. When he committed to Tennessee in the spring, they called his high school coach and was like, what did we do wrong? Like, where did we miss the boat on this? Like, he should be at Colorado. And it's like, you didn't really do anything wrong. It's just, you're not the SEC. You're not a program like Tennessee. And Ginther kind of said, like, hey, the glitz and the glamour of Deion, like, it didn't impress me. Like, that's not what I'm going to play college football for. I want to win. I want to try to compete for championships. I can do that at Tennessee. You can't really do that at Colorado right now. Yeah, the program's moving the right direction under Deion for now, and maybe it continues that ascent. We'll see how it all plays out. I mean, it's in the very early stages of building that program. You've seen when they play a team like Oregon, kind of what happens. So they got to figure that defense out before they really can think about winning any sort of championships. But all this talk about Deion, and for Tennessee to keep their guys like away from him, like not lose out to him when some programs are or will, I think it says a lot about what Tennessee's built and the fact that they've built something real. Because I feel like if these were Butch guys, some of those would have jumped a heartbeat, because that's what they're looking for. That's what some of those guys, well, not every Butch guy, obviously. There's some tremendous players that played under Butch that Tennessee fans still love today, that I still love. And you always will, and Jennings and Dobbs and all those guys. But there are guys that, even when the Jeremy Pruitt era too, like there were people that, who was it, Austin Pope, I think, when he left Tennessee, said there was guys at Tennessee that just wanted to put the uniform on and be an SEC player. They just wanted that experience. It wasn't about what actually goes into it, the work that goes into it. And I think that tells you that these aren't those type of guys. Like, they want to go win games. They want to go get developed. They're not going to be won over by this sales pitch from Deion or whatever he has going on out there. So for all the attention Deion gets, it's like, hey, let's shift to that team winning, giving that attention to, other 3-5 team, 3-2 team, or whatever the record is.
This 4-2. I think they did beat Arizona. They almost lost to Arizona State. They did beat Arizona State.
And you can't go show your watch when you beat the 1-5 team, Shedeur Sanders. That doesn't land quite the same. It just does not have the same effect.
I like
Shedeur Sanders. I like Shedeur Sanders. I'm not throwing shade.
No, I like this a lot for Tennessee. I think it's great because Deion. I mean, it's been the hottest thing in college football. It has been the college football equivalent of the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing, basically.
Yes, that's
just
perfect.
Like the news story.
It's like a novelty act. It really is.
Yeah, but then at the end of the day, now there's a lot of people who are just Deion fanboys that can't get over the fact. The fact is, Colorado, not yet. Colorado's just not very good overall. Their defense is absolute trash. Their offense, especially without Travis Hunter, is Shedeur Sanders, very fun, makes a lot of plays. The offense, they're just going to struggle.
Shedeur Sanders, pretty much.
Exactly. He is dragging that team along. Like that team exactly goes where he goes.
I respect the way he plays.
They only lost to USC by a touchdown, so that's something. But beyond that, it's a lot of glitz and a lot of glamour, and the kids can definitely get caught up in that. I mean, when you look at recruits, that stuff sells. Absolutely. You're probably going to go there and like be on a TV show, and you're going to do all this stuff. Also, at the end of the day,
musicians and rappers and celebrities on the sideline.
Exactly. You're going to be hanging out with whoever on the sideline, all these famous people. The Rock is showing up and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, you're also going to, I guess, they're going to the Big 12. You're going to play in the Big 12. You're going to play at Colorado, which is not a program with a lot of history. The SEC, especially when Texas and Oklahoma come in. I mean, it's the prime time of the prime time in college football. You cannot beat it. There will be no league. Hey, that I didn't do that on purpose, but there you go. But it really is. It's just, this is the league. This is where college football happens. College football does not happen in Boulder, Colorado. I mean, it does. You know what I mean by that. Like, this is the epicenter. And so at the end of the day, Tennessee wins out in that way. And I know we'll post this as a clip or something. There's going to be a lot of, Deion is the best thing. He's the coach of the year. I cannot believe that I was seeing that. I saw people posting, who's the coach of the year in college football this year? So many people saying Deion. Deion, fun story. He's done it's an incredible experiment. The way that he's flipping that roster, I think, is very cool. And think about the flashiness and all that stuff. I think a lot of people, it's wearing thin. But I mean, right now,
crazy. Like coach of the year right now,
Jeff Brom. It's Jeff Brom at Louisville,
or Brent Venables at Oklahoma.
Or Brent Venables at Oklahoma.
One of those two,
oh my gosh! Like, yeah, these guys are 6-0 at programs that were struggling a year ago. No, Venables at Oklahoma. It was only a matter of time before Oklahoma comes back around, I think. But I mean, just like Brom at Louisville, they sucked last year, and all of a sudden they're 6-0, beating Notre Dame, winning in big spots. Like that. Come on. It's okay to just say you can love Deion. Absolutely. And it's also okay to love Deion and be like, they'll get better. They'll get better in time. They're not that great right now. It's okay to just say that.
Yeah. Nobody's throwing shade at Deion. Like, I think I like the fact that he's out there grinding and doing something that he doesn't have to do because he loves the game that much, I guess, or developing whatever it is. Look, we've talked a ton about how difficult it is to be a college football coach right now. So it's not, and I'm sure he's not putting in the hours that Josh Heupel's putting in, or Nick Saban, or Kirby Smart. But still, he's living in Boulder, Colorado, as a college football coach. It's not as glamorous as
Boulder's pretty sweet. I will say,
it is a cool town. It's a cool place to live. But if you're a college football coach, how much do you even get to experience?
Also true. Also a good point. But yeah. Point of all of that being, we love the Gage Ginther came away from that still loving Tennessee and shutting down his commitment. That's amazing. So there's the recruiting segment. We got to wrap up quickly.